because it was Mungo Park that came here around 1600 to change the name from River Ethiop to River Niger. And it is captured in the scripture, especially in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 10, that the sons and daughters of lions, not Zion, that they live or hide behind the rivers of Ethiopia. But in the scripture, what we are going to find is that the sons and daughters of dispersed Israelites live behind the rivers of Ethiopia, which is a lie. Ethiopia as a country has only one river, and that river is called Nile. In fact, the river you call Nile, the Blue Nile, that's what you find in Ethiopia. It flows down from Ethiopia and rushes down into Egypt. So when Ethiopia, which was in ancient time called the kingdom of Abyssinia, when they built their dams, in fact, the building of the dam stopped the flow of Nile into. So there is the only river you have in the country you call Ethiopia today is the River Nile. And it is not River Nile that the scripture in Zephaniah 3:10 is talking about. It's talking about River Ethiop. So if you Google River Ethiop, you will understand that there is a mysterious water that arose out of the root of a cotton tree and formed the deepest inland water in the whole of Africa. That mystery happened the very year that Mungo Park came into Africa, in fact into West Africa, and changed the name of River Ethiop into River Niger. Because River Ethiop is where at the east of it or at the south of it is where the ancient dispersed Hebrews are hiding. The Europeans that call themselves Jews, they know about it. So what they did was to change the name from River Ethiop very, very early, before we wake up, and change it to River Niger. But River Ethiop flows into the Ethiop Sea, because the name of the ocean you now called Atlantic Ocean in ancient times and in ancient maps was called the Ethiop Sea. River Ethiop flows into the Ethiop Sea. But Mungo Park, who was a Jew, have to come down to Africa, to Nigeria. In fact, he was being carried on head by Lokoja people when he was discovering the source and the cause of River Niger. He enslaved them to carry him on head. After his expedition or whatever he was doing, he told us that he was the one that invented or discovered River Niger, which is a lie. It's a pure lie from hell. So, but that was them trying to change the name, so that to any time you open the book of Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 10 and see it that the dispersed sons and daughters of lions are hiding behind the river of Ethiopia, you will not ever think that it is the Hebrews. You will be thinking that the river Ethiopia they mean is the one that is in Ethiopia. And the country that they even call Ethiopia today was called Ethiopia by 1948, the same year fake Israel was created. So Chukwudeism was not brought as I am the high priest of Chukwudeism. I am a messenger of Chukwu. The message is not being brought to massage the ego of any person. Or, no. It's just meant to remind you who we are, from where we are coming, and where we are going. Now, I keep on using the name ancient people. I want to remind all Igbos that you cannot run from that name. Our name is not just Igbo. Our name is Ndibo. From Ndibo, if you transcribe it into English, it will turn to ancient people. We are not the only Igbos on earth, I have to remind you. What we are in the south of Nigeria, or southeast of Nigeria, is Igbo. In the Bible, it was recorded as Hebrew of the Hebrews, because the Hebrews were the first people that existed in this world. The scripture was written in their language. In fact, the Chukwu that created this world was the Chukwu of the Hebrews. He created this world using the language of the Hebrews. That's why Hebrew language or Igbo language is called the language of creation. Oku Okukowa. The Hebrew language is also called the language of the ancient people. So you use it to create and use it to, to measure your history. A lot of Igbos are crying today because we have lost a lot of things by the kind of politics we are playing in Nigeria. But I tell you that the resources that is hidden in the name Ndi Igbo or Ndibo or ancient people or the Hebrews is far much richer than what we have lost in the oil or in any other natural resource that Chukwu has hidden on the ground for us that has been taken by our enemies.